Hey, I'm Eric. I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out the video pinned in my profile. Today I listened to the 1980 album ArgyBargy from the band Squeeze. I had not heard anything from these guys other than a few singles on the radio, which not even the radio, on 80s on 8 on XM. So I wasn't even familiar with them until I got satellite radio. One of their songs that's my favorite is "Tempted," and that's mostly because of, at the time, their lead singer Paul Carrick, who was singing that song, and he's one of my favorite '80s vocalists. But other than that, I'd heard a few songs just on the radio, two of which happen to be on this album. So it opens up with a song called "Pulling Muscles from a Shell," and then it goes straight into "Another Nail in My Heart." And those two songs are just fantastic. Very well written lyrics, and the melody is very hooky on both of them, and they're just great songs. And then right after that, further in the album, but song-wise, one of my favorites is "If I Didn't Love You." That's another great song. Those three should have gotten a lot of play in America, and they really didn't, from what I read. They're British, British new wave, and they had a lot of success in the UK, but they didn't really have a whole lot in the States, from what I can read and tell. And I don't understand why. It's another one of those bands that, you know, I've talked about in other videos, that they're successful in their home country and they just can't break through in America. But those three songs should have done just tremendously on American radio, and for whatever reason they didn't. Outside of that, this is a really quirky album. It's got some really quirky stuff on it. My favorites out of those first three are Vicky Verky, Farfisa Beat, and Misadventure. What it sounds like, there's like 4 or 5 different people singing. So apparently everybody in the band gets a turn singing lead, which is cool. I mean, that they have enough talent to do that. It just is different that you hear a different voice on just about every song. Something else they do that's very different, and it kind of sets them apart, I think, in what they do. Most people harmonize above the melody, and a lot of these songs they harmonize below the melody. They also, instead of harmonizing, somebody will sing an octave down, so you have the same melody at 2 different octaves going in the song, which is just makes them sound. It's just a very distinct sound, very unique, and it sounds kind of cool. Both of those sound very cool when they do it. So you know, they're very talented guys. I love the way they write lyrics and the way they write their melody hooks. Like I said, it's very quirky at times, and I've never heard anything else from them, so other than the song I mentioned. So I don't know if that's how they are all the time. It would not be. That's not a bad thing. I just don't know if that's what their norm is. I will probably go check out more of their stuff because of liking this so much. It's a great listen. It's a fun listen. There were a couple songs that I, towards the end of the song, fast forwarded through because I just didn't connect with them. But I mean, you know, other than that, it's a great listen. If you're a Squeeze fan and you have thoughts about this album, or you have thoughts about another album that you would think would be a better listen, let me know. If you've never heard Squeeze or are not very familiar with them, this is the album that you should probably listen to get familiar with them. It's got, you know, on the whole, it's got a lot of great songs on it, and I will probably listen to this again at least, and I will try to check out some more of their stuff just to see what it's like. So if you give it a listen, let me know what you think.